according to Xinhua news agency. Recently, the German chief prosecutor has submitted an arrest warrant to the Polish procurator EAL organ, asking Poland to arrest a Ukrainian named Vladimir Z who is suspected of blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. This person is a diving instructor. However, the Polish government said that the suspect has left Poland and returned to Ukraine. In addition, Germany has also found two other suspects, a man and a woman, both of whom are divers from Ukraine who may have installed explosives on the undersea natural gas pipeline. The Nord Stream natural gas pipeline connects Russia and Germany and transports natural gas to Europe. In February 2022, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine began. On September 26, the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines successively exploded, plunging Europe into an energy crisis and panic. Internationally, it is generally believed that the explosion of the Nord Stream pipeline has damaged Russia, Germany and Western European countries suffering from energy shortages, while the United States, Ukraine, Poland, the Baltic 3 countries and Finland are the beneficiaries. Regarding who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, there have been various rumors in the past 2 years. Some say it is the United States. Some say it is Poland. Some say it is Ukraine. And some say it is Russia. Russia said, "How could I blow up my own pipeline?" However, these rumors all lack specific basis. After 2 years of investigation, in February this year, Sweden and Denmark successively announced the end of the investigation, but neither disclosed who was behind it. It is not known whether it was not found out, or they dare not say. Only Germany said it would continue the investigation as of August 14 this year. A long article published by the Wall Street Journal of the United States basically restores the whole picture of the Nord Stream explosion incident. Among the current various statements, it is the one with the clearest details. The article is roughly as follows. Absurd plans often emerge when bars are about to close. In May 2022, several senior Ukrainian military officers and businessmen gathered in a bar to celebrate Ukraine's remarkable achievements in blocking the Russian invasion. Under the instigation of alcohol and patriotic enthusiasm, someone proposed the next radical measure, destroying the Nord Stream pipeline. It is unimaginable that an action sufficient to shift the entire world's geopolitical situation was actually made by a group of people who are heavily drunk. However, for such an improvised plan, there cannot be a budget. So, in this same bar, businessmen and military officers reached an agreement. Businessmen provide funds and military personnel contribute efforts. A currently serving senior officer with experience in special operations is responsible for this task. This officer then reported the plan to Ukrainian military commander Zerluz HNY. Zerluz HNY did not dare to make a decision on his own and hurriedly reported it to Zelensky. And what about Zelensky? He approved this plan within a few days. Moreover, all arrangements were made orally, and there is no written record. Therefore, no investigation can now trace back to the Ukrainian government. However, this plan soon leaked out. After the MH17 incident, the Dutch Military Intelligence Service MIVD strengthened its intelligence gathering capabilities on Ukraine and Russia and quickly learned of this plan. So MIVD informed the American CIA. And the CIA quickly informed Germany. The CIA stepped forward and informed Zelensky that this matter crossed the red line. Subsequently, Zelensky ordered Zerluz HNY to stop the operation. But Zerluz HNY informed Zelensky that once the sabotage team was dispatched, they would lose contact because any contact with them might endanger the operation. So the mission could not be called off. So the mission unfolded uncontrollably. The person in charge of the sabotage team is named Roman Chervinsky. He is a highly decorated colonel who once served in the Ukrainian security service. However, he doesn't know how to dive. So he spent money to hire 3 diving experts, namely Vladimir Z and a Ukrainian couple. Vladimir Z has long lived in Poland and is an outstanding diving expert with multiple qualifications such as long-distance diving. The Ukrainian couple runs a diving school in Ukraine after some preparations. In September 2022, the sabotage team rented a 15-meter-long leisure yacht named Andromeda in Rostock, a Baltic port city in Germany. This ship was rented in the name of a travel agency, and this travel agency was established by the Ukrainian intelligence department 10 years ago. To cover up financial transactions, the equipment on the ship is very simple, with only diving equipment, satellite navigation, portable sonar, and an open-source undersea map indicating the location of the pipeline. In order to make the people on the ship look more like tourists, the diver's wife deliberately put on a skirt to deceive the maritime patrol personnel. However, unfortunately, bad weather forced the Andromeda yacht to make a temporary stop at Sandhamn port in Sweden. During this period, a diver accidentally dropped an explosive device to the bottom of the sea. Fortunately, the storm subsided quickly, and the sabotage team successfully reached the sea area where the Nord Stream pipeline is located. Then, the diver dived to place the bomb. The diver's wife was responsible for technical support, while others were responsible for driving the ship and keeping watch. It took almost several days to install the bomb. The explosive used to blow up the pipeline is Octo-General, which is currently the explosive with the best comprehensive performance in the military, coupled with the fact that the pipeline itself is under high pressure. Only a small amount of explosive is needed to easily blow it up. After laying out the bombs, they carefully set up a timing device and finally detonated it on September 26, 2022, blowing up 3 of the 4 pipelines of Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. The entire operation cost only $300,000 US. That is to say, Ukraine only used $300,000 US and 1 soldier to destroy the Nord Stream pipeline that cost €9 billion. It also destroyed the material basis for reconciliation between Germany and Russia. It can be said that it has shifted the geopolitical situation of the entire Europe. Subsequently, the sabotage team returned to Rostock after several twists and turns, threw away the ship and fled. Only poor Germany, after the Nord Stream pipeline was blown up, faced the indignant people and started an investigation without a clue. Fortunately, they found that the Andromeda was the only ship flying the Ukrainian flag in the nearby sea area on that day. So they listed the Andromeda as the key investigation object. The hasty evacuation of the sabotage team caused them to forget to clean the ship, which enabled the German police to find traces of explosives, fingerprints and DNA samples of the crew, etc. Subsequently, the German police followed the clues and found the mobile phone numbers and satellite phones of the Ukrainians on the ship. After 2 years of careful investigation, the German police obtained a large amount of data and materials such as their travel records, emails and financial transactions, and scanned the seabed conditions around the explosion site, basically restoring the action process of the sabotage team. However, even if it is determined that Ukraine is responsible for the explosion of the Nord Stream pipeline, so what? In June 2024, Germany confirmed the true identity of Vladimir Z and found that he lived in Warsaw. So Germany issued an arrest warrant to Poland. But the Poles did not take this arrest warrant seriously. On the contrary, Vladimir Z seemed to have received the news and suddenly crossed the border and fled back to Ukraine. So, is Poland involved? Coincidentally, the operation commander Roman Chervinsky also disappeared in Ukraine. At this point, all clues are interrupted. Think about it carefully. Although currently this report in the Washington Post is the most credible in terms of context and has the most details among many statements, the problem is this report true? It must be said that there are many doubts in this. First of all, This sabotage operation goes beyond the common sense of general underground operations. Under normal circumstances, although intelligence agencies have civilian employees, such civilian employees are often unreliable. They lack not only some basic common sense and psychological quality for operations, but also the sense of responsibility and honor generated by being on the staff. If they are forced to perform tasks, they are likely to mess things up. So, generally speaking, intelligence organizations will not let these civilian employees undertake tasks involving using weapons. At most, they let them gather intelligence and the like. However, now the core task of placing bombs is actually entrusted to several civilian diving instructors. It is true that they can dive, but handling bombs is not something that ordinary people dare to do. Even if they have high patriotic enthusiasm and are asked to carry bombs and travel a long distance to blow up Russia's pipeline without backup and take the risk of being hunted down, their psychological quality may not be up to par, not to mention that the entire project budget is only $300,000 US, after deducting expenses such as renting yachts, transportation, meals, and hotel stays. The remaining money is divided among 6 people. Each person can't get much, only tens of thousands of dollars. Is it worth risking their lives? Secondly, on the 14th, the Ukrainian diver couple actually came forward and accepted an interview with German media, denying their participation in the attack. The diver's wife said, "We are not special forces and have not received military training. How could we carry out such an operation? In the early stage, we have called the German embassy countless times and sent countless emails to explain. We have also provided various alibi evidence. Why don't you still believe us? Let's assume that if it was really this diving instructor couple who blew up the Nord Stream, what should they do at this moment? They should hide their identities and hide with such a high-profile appearance. Aren't they afraid that Russian agents will kidnap or assassinate them and then use them as evidence to slap the United States in the face?" Interestingly, Germany has issued a warrant for Vladimir Z, but not for this diving instructor couple. The third point is about the direction of the investigation. We all still remember that in February last year, Seymour Hersh, a veteran American investigative journalist who once exposed the massacres committed by the U.S. military in Vietnam, broke a major story, claiming that the explosion of the Nord Stream pipeline was done by the Americans and was directly ordered by Biden to be destroyed. According to Hershey's article, the blasting of the Nord Stream pipeline was carried out by the Central Intelligence Agency CIA and U.S. Navy divers under the cover of the Baltic Sea Operation 2022 exercise and with the support of the Norwegian Navy. During the exercise in June 2022, they placed 8 explosive devices under the Nord Stream natural gas pipeline and then detonated 6 of them in September, directly destroying 3 of the 4 Nord Stream pipelines. If much of the content of Hershey's article is still just speculation, then the revelation of another American freelance writer, John Duggan, is even more interesting. He claimed that he received an anonymous letter. The writer said that at the scene of the Baltic Sea Operation 2022 exercise in June last year, he saw a group of American divers carrying special equipment and boxes who may be on a blasting mission. These divers stayed at the bottom of the sea for several hours, and when they surfaced, the boxes were gone. This is very strange. With so many revelations, why do the Germans not investigate Baltic Sea Operation 2022 but keep a close eye on the Ukrainians? Let's recall that shortly after the Nord Stream pipeline was blown up in 2022, the American media claimed that the culprits who blew up Nord Stream 2 were pro-Ukrainian groups. What is a pro-Ukrainian group? Obviously, it refers to a group spontaneously formed by civilians with non-official status. As a result, the result of Germany's investigation is indeed a pro-Ukrainian group. It has a feeling of shooting an arrow first and then drawing a target. Obviously, when the United States said pro-Ukrainian group before, it clearly pointed out the direction for Germany. I know you need to give an explanation to the public. However, you can't say it was done by me. Nor can you say it was done by the Ukrainian government. Then simply close the case with the statement that it was revenge by Ukrainian civilians. Anyway, civilian actions cannot be traced to the government. Look at this investigation report now. It is very political first of all. The United States has been excluded. The Central Intelligence Agency CIA is not only not the actor, but also has stopped the action. What about the Ukrainian government? It has also been excluded because Zelensky once ordered the cancellation of the operation, preserving Zelensky's lofty and upright image Zerlaz HNY. The commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army who ordered the implementation of the plan was removed from his post in March this year due to his failure in the power struggle with Zelensky and was sent to the United Kingdom to serve as a powerless ambassador to the United Kingdom. And those civilian divers who carried out the plan have fled back to Ukraine. Ukraine will not extradite them to Germany for trial at all after such investigations. It turns out that several Ukrainian businessmen provided the money, and a Ukrainian officer full of patriotic enthusiasm hired several civilian diving instructors to handle this matter. Such an explanation will not hold any country accountable, and no official needs to be responsible for this. Moreover, the actual actors cannot be caught. This result can be regarded as perfect since the article of the Wall Street Journal was released. With the United States hegemony in public opinion, this matter is basically settled. Whoever questions it again is being disrespectful. As for whether other countries believe it or not, sorry. Even if you don't believe it, so what? Therefore, the Nord Stream explosion incident ended with Denmark and Sweden remaining silent after the investigation. The United States exposing that it was Ukraine that blew up the pipeline. Germany issuing a warrant for Ukrainian suspects. Poland saying sorry for not catching them. Ukraine calling this matter nonsense. And Russia could only suffer in silence.